Due to the rise of AI systems like ChatGPT, now Bing has one coming out. These chatbot systems are exploding in popularity, and so are the use cases of them. And one of my favorite use cases is AI trading. So if you're the kind of person who likes AI trading, investing, you're interested in this kind of thing, then this is definitely the right channel for you. Hit subscribe, turn on all notifications so that you're notified as soon as I upload. And for clicking that bell notification, I do a lot of giveaways for my first viewers. So I do a lot of Patreon giveaways. So if you're one of the first people watching this video, thank you very much for hitting that bell notification and for subscribing. And for the giveaway in this video, my partner at Bybit is letting me do a trade tactics community giveaway for the brand new iPhone or an equivalent USDT prize of $1,100. That is going to be airdropped directly into your Bybit account if you sign up with the trade tactics link down in the description. I'm also going to pin it to the top of the comments. All you got to do to enter is sign up using that link in the month of March. If you're a new registration and you deposit 100 USDT into your Bybit account, that's it. You're automatically entered into the giveaway this month. And if you win, you'll just be airdropped that prize into your account with no strings attached. Be sure that this ID is on your screen when you register. Now, there are all kinds of different systems that are possible to be implemented. With these, the possibilities are pretty much endless, and I've shared some basics on this channel, as well as some open source strategies that I've shared with the community on my Discord. Today, I want to summarize a lot of those basics and get into the different kinds of systems that are really pretty simple to implement, and they get more complicated the further you go into it. Now, there are 3 systems that I want to talk about in this video, and then I'm going to show you one of them, and we're going to build a script in this video, and I'm going to implement it on screen. I'm going to show you exactly how it's all done. So when it comes to automated trading systems, and also this goes for indicators or strategies, there's different strengths and weaknesses to every single one. We're going to talk about 3 main core ones that I believe are pretty much the core of any trading system. You got to pick one of them, and it's possible to combine or make a fusion between a couple of these ones. So the first one is a trend following system, and the second is going to be a grid following system. And these systems are kind of counterparts to each other. When the market goes flat and there's less liquidity, after a breakout, the market kind of goes flat as liquidity decreases. And in these situations, a lot of money can be made trading on the lower time frames, going back and forth in between a range of price. Now, while a lot of money can be made on these lower time frames, trading these back and forth positions, during a breakout, a grid trading bot typically wants to take profit at the very top of the range, whereas a breakout bot works in the opposite direction. It wants to enter trades at the very top of the range, predicting a breakout. So in certain markets, such as crypto, the breakout system typically works more often than not. Statistically, if you try to catch every single breakout through crypto in the past, it has worked. And now there's no promises that that'll continue working for the future, but the crypto market is fairly volatile, so these systems historically have worked. Now, a trend following bot, there's a huge breakout or even a huge market crash. So this works in price discovery where there's no known support or resistances established yet, or during a market crash where you're not too sure where the bottom is. You don't want to have a grid trading bot system enabled during price discovery. It's actually impossible to implement because you wouldn't know where to establish the range. Now, the weakness of a trend following bot is if the market goes flat. Now, this trend following system, which is my favorite system, to be honest, it has its weaknesses though. Now, if the market is a little bit flat, it's going to try to take attempts at every single breakout. And if your bot is trying to predict breakouts in a flat market or a ranging market, your win rate is going to go down, and hopefully the next breakout that happens is going to be large enough to make up for any losses that you made during that flat market. And the beauty of backtesting is that you can go back, you can look, hey, statistically over the last 7 or 8 years, this is typically what played out. And the whole goal of trading is to use these numbers and statistics through backtesting and try to map or project it onto the future, hoping, there's no guarantee, that it works out in the future again, meaning that your trading system has to be robust and flexible enough to respond to new data that it hasn't seen before. Maybe the market does something completely new or random, and your algorithm is going to have to be able to respond to that. So maybe this includes variables that account for both extremes. If you're extremely bullish or extremely bearish, you don't want to be trading in the reverse direction. Now, the third kind of system that I've seen implemented is a pivot point bot. It tries to find the perfect bottoms and tops. These systems are inherently more risky because you're trying to catch a falling knife. Maybe the market is in extreme panic mode and is selling off, and your bot would try to find pivots, but the market would keep trending downwards. Potentially there are some weaknesses there with this bot system, but there's a lot of money that could be made in these back and forths or in these big pivot points. Some of these systems include looking for liquidations and trying to catch those huge wicks that come up off huge crashes. So typically after a lot of traders get liquidated, that's a discount zone, and it's a really good place to buy up some crypto or whatever other asset that you're trading. And every single market is going to be a little bit different. If you're trading Forex versus crypto, or maybe you're trading futures, all of these markets play out a little bit differently, and all these systems have to be tuned and adjusted for what that particular market usually trades like. And each market has its own unique personality. Maybe a particular market likes the 200 moving average. Every time it touches a 200 moving average, maybe it's good to have a bot that utilizes or incorporates that particular indicator at that particular setting. Some markets are easier to trade on higher time frames, for example. There's less randomness. Maybe there's better investors at the higher levels where they're looking for these big pivot points, and those are typically easier to trade on rather than the 1 minute or the lower time frames, which could be more random. Developing trading systems for lower time frames get exponentially harder because of that randomness. Now, that's not to say it's not possible to create a 1 minute sniper bot. I've seen some 15-minute sniper bots that are deadly, and I've created some 50-minute, 30-minute bots that work fairly well. But the time frames that I really like are more of the middle range time frames, like the 1 hour, the 3-4 hour. On these time frames, I can go to bed and just know that I'm in a trade, and that there might be a surge that happens overnight, and waking up and checking my accounts overnight are typically fairly good. So I'm going to show you the Bitcoin chart right now, and an example of one of these situations. I'm going to show you the Bitcoin chart. We just had a 6% dump just yesterday. So these are some of the results through the dump, and I've created a couple of trading systems that I've shared in my Discord. They're completely open source. You can build off them, transform them into whatever you want. I really want those to be public. I want people to have access to them as learning tools and to build off of them to see what they can become. Some of them are already profitable in markets like this where there's huge dumps, and these are trend following bots. Where those bots typically have weaknesses, again, the trend following systems, is when you go into consolidation like this. Maybe your bot wants to try to catch a long on this reversal here, but the market's just going flat and then trending downwards. I'm going to show you how this bot responded here. These are all the closed profit and loss, and this bot works on the 30-minute chart. There's a 2%, almost a 3% trade. Again, this bot just makes these little snipes. I have a very short take profit. You can see the take profit and the stop loss on the chart here. So this bot just likes to get these little trades, and it just adds those to the account. All these were wins because the market was really, really trending. As I go down, there's one loss here. Every single one here was profitable during the trending market. I can show you just all orders here for this system. So this is the closed profit and loss for this system that I had up on the screen. It's about an 80% win rate right now. You can see some of the wins are larger than some of the losses here. There's about a 2% loss there, but most of the wins, it takes profit at these small levels, 2.72, 2.52, and this is just chipping away at all of these wins. This one loss that was a little bit bigger than the rest of the wins. Overall, that 80% win rate more than compensated any losses that I incurred. Now, this is during a trending market. This bot, again, won't perform as well if the market is ranging or is flat, but I just wanted to show you some of the strengths. When they shine, they more than compensate. At least so far in my testing, for me, they've compensated any losses that I've incurred. Now, the trading system that I wanted to develop and show you today would to combine an open source indicator, the Bollinger Bands strategy, with the double EMA strategy that I posted in my Discord server. So some of the traders who may be watching this have seen my other videos. They've tried to implement these other strategies. There's been a lot of questions about how do I improve these? How do I make these better? I'm going to show you today how to combine these two together, and you're able to combine these with any other indicator that you like. You can take a MACD or an RSI. You can add in these ranges. For example, maybe you don't want your bot to enter another long if the RSI is really, really, really overbought. Maybe it knows it's near the top of the range. You can add in these filters. Maybe you're short and you don't want your bot to try to short in this area here down near the bottom of this range because the RSI is already oversold. So I'm in the Trade Tactics Discord, and if you haven't watched my videos on how to get automated, how to automate these systems, I have another video here. This is the one, if you scroll back through my videos, you'll see this trading bot, the ultimate guide, and it goes through the full step-by-step tutorial on how to take a strategy that works on TradingView and how to send those signals and automate them to your Bybit account. So there's a full text tutorial here. It is all all the instructions here. There's a sample template code that you can input and play around with. It has automatic stop loss, take profit levels, and also has custom backtest periods. So I'm in the Trade Tactics Discord, and over at the Working Scripts tab, there's all kinds of trading algorithms and different strategies that are being developed. Today, I'm going to combine the double EMA, strategy today. I'm going to show you exactly how to combine two strategies together so that you could work on your own system and try to improve some backtesting results and see how that works for you in your own learning process. And then I'm going to share the code for that combination. I'm going to make a post. So if you end up joining the server, you're going to see a new post with the strategy from this video here. I'm going to post it at the end of the video. So one of my favorite strategies that I've released is the double EMA aggressive strategy. This is a really aggressive strategy. So I'm going to click on this double EMA moving average strategy. To find the code for this strategy in the double EMA strategy, you just click the pinned messages, and I've pinned it right here. So this is the updated version. I'm going to go jump to it right here. And if I expand it, you can see that not all the lines of code are here. There's 16 lines left. So in order to get this code, I'm going to have to download the full message. And once this is open, I'm just going to select all and copy it. And we're going to head over to TradingView and paste it right in. So this is exactly how you grab the script. I got a blank Pine Editor page open. To get to this page, I just opened the Pine Editor tab at the very bottom of my screen. And I'm going to hit open it, and I'm going to create a new indicator or strategy. And all of this here, I'm just going to hit delete on all of this because we don't need that. And I'm just going to paste. Now, once all the code is there, there's 116 lines. I'm going to hit save, and this is going to be a hybrid strategy. So this is going to be the double EMA Bollinger Band hybrid strategy. There we go. So now I've hit save, it should compile correctly. There's no errors in that code, and I could add that one to the chart. So this is how the strategy performs. To get these results, you got to be on the correct time frame and on the correct equity. I'm on the Bitcoin USDT 4-hour time frame. The net profit is around 5,265% net profit, factoring in commission, and that's going back 20,000 candles because I have a premium version of TradingView. If you don't have a premium version of TradingView, you're not going to see maybe the exact numbers, but the stats, the things that are important are going to be the percent profitability. That's going to be your win rate. And the drawdown is also very, very crucial too. So this number here, the 5,265%, looks really, really high, but that's taking into account the compounding effect of compounding interest. So if you all in your account 100% every single time, let's say you have an account with $1,000 and you win $20, the next order is going to be $1,020. It's going to put in the profit from the previous trade into the future trade, and it's just going to reinvest and compound all of this equity. Now, if you want to have a flat order, like a flat order amount, let's say you want every trade to be around $1,000 and you just want to see what are the results for that. So if you don't want to have the compounding effect, you would just simply scroll to this first line. This is the strategy declaration line, and the default quantity type, instead of strategy percent of equity, you would simply put strategy.cash and then hit save. Of course, you want to change the default quantity value to the dollar amount that you want to put in cash. For me, I like to have the percent of equity because I want to have accounts that are compounding, and I want that all to be automated. That's just a preference of mine. You might not have the same preference. So we've got the double EMA strategy, and I'll show you just the long and short condition rules here. We've got two here. These two rules are for the long and short condition. If either of these conditions are met, there's two different ones, two for a long and two for a short, separated by the OR condition. Not to get too much into the technical details there, but if I put an AND condition, then all of this would have to be true. If I have the OR condition, it could be either the first one or the second one. If either of those is true, it'll either long or short. Now, like I said, if you wanted to have an RSI, you would simply go to the public database, which is up at the top here. You could click the indicators, you type in RSI. You could pick through any of these from the open source database. Make sure that there is the squiggly brackets here before you add it to your chart to show that it's open source. You can see this one, for example, is not open source. It doesn't have the little squiggly bracket like that right here. That one is closed source. It's locked with the lock button right there. Every other one is open source, and you can add those to your chart. You can open up the open source code, and you would add in another long condition. So let's say you picked an RSI. You don't want the RSI to take a long or short in the extremes. You could just add an OR condition, and then whatever the RSI variable is, let's say it's RSI, is less than, let's say, 90. Typically, 80 or 90 are going to be that overbought category, and typically around 10 to 20 is going to be, depending on the indicator you're looking at, RSI doesn't go below 0, so it's going to be 0 to 100 typically if my memory is correct. So that 10 to 20 range would be where you would set that at. So in this video, I'm going to combine the Bollinger Band strategy with the double EMA strategy. We're going to create a fusion and we're going to check to see the results to see if it's more effective. So for the basic strategy, these are the results and we're going to see if we can improve them. The strategy is working with a take profit and a stop loss. If I take the take profit and stop loss out, you're going to see some different results. It's still around the same 5,000% profit, but I like to have that extra security with the take profit and stop loss. I can show the take profit or stop loss using the setting here, and you could see on the screen, let me just expand this for you. When you entered this trade here, it set a stop loss. That's what it looks like there. So you could see that we almost got wicked out there, but we came back down, and this strategy closed the short as soon as it hit that stop loss. This strategy is about a 46% win rate. So about 1 in 2 trades are going to be a win. So this one right here entered the short, and that was the stop loss here, which is conveniently right around the 200 EMA. And so this short right here, which this was live on my account, this is one of the trades that I was in. This was the automatic stop loss that was placed for that order. And then all the way down here, it took profit after this candle, and then it entered another short right here. So you can see the updated stop loss here. So we'll see how that trade ends up playing out. And so just for simplicity, I'm going to turn off that right here so we're not clogging up the screen with the take profits, but it's good to know that that's there. Another good thing to know is the custom backtest range. Maybe you just want to set a custom backtest period. So you want to test how your bot performs during a particular market crash. So you want to stress test your bot for these different time periods to see exactly how it would have performed from there, a peak of Bitcoin all the way down. Would you have made profit on the way down? Maybe you want to test maybe the COVID crash that happened. There are all kinds of different time frames that you could test using this custom backtest period. You could just input them into the calendar right here. So we've got these results. We're going to try to make them even better by combining this strategy with another trend following strategy, and we're going to try to fuse them together in a way that complements both of them. We're going to try to do that without curve fitting it, which curve fitting is simply put, it's when a strategy is hyper tuned, it's preset for historic data, but not future data. So the strategy is not flexible enough. And when a strategy is not flexible, it doesn't respond to new data that it hasn't seen before very well. It's kind of just configured for the exact data set. It doesn't have that ability to respond in real time. You might see these really, really impressive numbers like 5,000% profit or 10,000% profit. I could go to the Bitcoin chart here, for example, BTC USD, and this chart goes all the way back, and this number goes far higher. This is now $10,000. I could take off the stop loss too, and you can see that it goes up to 58,000% profit without the stop loss. Big numbers to look for are going to be the total closed trades. You also want to see some forward testing data to see if this is the strategy configured just for historic data, or does it also work for future data as well. And of course, that's my goal. I want the strategy to work in real time. I wouldn't want to waste my time with a strategy that is pre-configured just for historic data and not future data. So keep that in mind. The total closed trades is a really important number to look at. If your strategy only has 10 or 20 trades, that's not a large enough sample size to really know if the strategy is going to work out in the long term. Maybe it's just getting those by fluke. The higher you get with the total closed trades, typically the higher statistically reliable that can be, as long as you're not running into curve fitting, which is one of the biggest weaknesses of bots. And the next thing that you got to remember is that maybe you're starting your bot at this time period here, at this green peak right here. The bot was doing really, really well here, and then the drawdown started increasing. That's when it started losing trades. You want to make sure that if I'm starting the bot up here, maybe we're going to have some pullback on the strategy. Maybe the strategy is not going to be immediately profitable, but in the long term, you want to see this curve coming back and rebounding higher and higher and higher, so that hopefully that you could take an educated guess that this system would still be reliable in the future. So I'm going to go and grab the Bollinger strategy from the Trade Tactics Discord. So this is the full open source code for the strategy. So I'm just going to download it right here. And here it is in the notepad. So I don't need all of this here for this strategy. So we've already got our strategy entry and exit conditions from the other strategy. So I don't need those here, but we do need the variables here in the long and short entries for the Bollinger strategy. So we're going to add these to the double EMA strategy as a variable for another long entry. For the plots here, we're going to need this. These are all the visual variables. So that's going to give us our plots. So we're going to be able to see the Bollinger Band on our screen. So I'm going to leave those in. And we already have a source declared. So I'm going to leave out this and the top line here. We already have a strategy declaration statement. So I'm just going to exit out of all of that. I'm going to copy this, what's remaining, and I'm going to copy and paste that into the double EMA strategy. So here's the double EMA strategy. I'm going to scroll down here, and this is where the template code is here, exactly from this import function. This is giving us our automatic stop loss, take profit levels, and the custom backtesting period. So if you just want to use those stop loss and the custom backtesting period, you can copy all of this here all the way down, and that's exactly what you want to copy all the way here, all the way to your long and short conditions. And this is going to allow you to use custom alerts, and that is exactly what you'd paste into your open source code for the strategy that you're building. For any other strategy, if you want to use a stop loss or take profit, this is some really, really good template code. So here I'm going to just add a note. This is the Bollinger bands, and I'm going to place my code inside of this. Now, the one thing that I'm seeing a red line come up on is the length, so we already have a length variable defined. So I'm just going to change this to a length of the Bollinger band. So length BB should do very well. So length BB will be fine. And I got to change the length in these statements below so that I'm not calling the wrong function. So I'm going to hit save just to see if this configured correctly without any errors. And there you go. So I hit save and we got the Bollinger band on the screen. So it's calling everything correctly so far. And now we're going to add the rules into the strategy. So it's this crossover of the source that's going to be the price crossing over the Bollinger band, detecting a breakout. So I don't really need the long entry there at the beginning, and I don't really need the short entry there at the end. I just need these, and I'm going to cut them out of this code. I'm going to head down to the long and short conditions here. And I'm going to add another or statement, and I'm going to paste that in right there. I'm going to scroll up for the short entry. There we go. So I've cut that out, and I'm going to paste it in right below in my short entry. Now it's actually configured in the strategy. I'm going to hit save and see if I have any errors. It's compiling. There's no errors. So now that we got that saved, let's head over to the chart. We got some improved results on our net profit. There's 8,500% profit. Before is around 5,000% profit. And I've dialed in the exact stop loss settings that I personally like. We could go back even further using the BTC USDT chart. This is 230,000% profit using the strategy going way, way, way back. I'm just going to show you some of the trades that this strategy made. There was recently this really big pump, and it was in all the way in. As soon as it started dumping, it started shorting. And the strategy's been in a short since around this candle here. So currently it should be in around 8.3% profit. We can confirm that going to our strategy tester panel. In the strategy tester panel, the open profit loss right here is around 8.3%. So yeah, we're currently in this trade, and I could see the full list of trades in this panel here. This is all backtesting number. Now that 230,000% profit includes commission of 0.05%. And like I said, it's taking a shot at every single breakout. It wins 1 in 3 trades, but those trades compensate any losses that had over the past. Now, the weaknesses of this strategy are if the market goes flat. So for example, the market was really, really flat in this area here. This kind of price action where it's crossing down below and then immediately back up is a little bit of a nightmare for this bot to deal with. But you can see on these clean sweeps, this clean sweep down and then this clean sweep all the way up. This bot has no issues catching these trades and riding it out all the way to the very, very top. And so that's where these backtesting numbers come in. I personally like to set a stop loss and a take profit. And with this stop loss and take profit, you don't have to use the exact numbers that I'm using here. But the way I've got it configured, it's almost a 60% win rate. And over the last several years, it's achieved a 22,000% profit on this configuration. And that's just backtesting. So right now I'm going to go ahead and share this code exactly as is on the screen. Again, there's been a lot of people complaining that they don't have TradingView Premium, so they don't see the exact net profit here. If you have TradingView free, you're only going to see back 5,000 candles. So please take that in consideration before you complain that you don't see the exact results or this isn't legitimate. This is exactly the code that I'm sharing in the Discord as it is on the screen. You could take it and play around and experiment with it for yourself, for learning, for your own learning purposes. So here it is. If you want to experiment with the strategy for yourself, just make sure that you hit the download message on the right-hand side. If you expand it on the left, you're going to see that there's 40 lines left. You're not going to be able to download the whole code. So make sure that you hit the download button on the right-hand side, paste it into a completely blank Python editor page. Before I end the video, I wanted to remind you that Bybit is doing a giveaway of an iPhone or 1,100 USDT, and that giveaway is running exclusively for the trade tactics community. You have to sign up with the Bybit link down in the description and deposit 100 USDT into your account, and you'll be automatically entered to win a brand new iPhone. And the benefits of signing up for Bybit are that you can automate your strategy completely free through Wick Hunter. Other than a TradingView subscription, that's the only thing that you're going to need to pay for, but you can dip your toes in the water for 30 days because TradingView has a 30-day free trial. If you're looking for extra script help, I try to help out everyone, but sometimes I get too busy, so I have a Patreon tier where I'm guaranteed to help you out. Sign up on patreon.com/trade tactics. The link's going to be down in the description for that. But everything in my community, I want to keep it as open source as possible and help out as many people with as many questions as possible. There's a script help category. People are posting profitable trades, profitable trading systems. Regardless if you're into PineScript or Python and different trading systems, definitely come to this community. There's over 30,000 active people in the community. Before you go, if you haven't yet, be sure to thumbs up this video. It really helps boost the video in the algorithm. It helps the channel grow. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.